Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just under 5 months away from its official release date by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio that is all set and ready to introduce different pieces of Jedi and Sith lore that's going to be used as a way in order to benefit many of the new characters such as Rey and Kylo Ren in this story. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. And that's one of the more exciting elements of this film is that we do know that J.J., Chris, and George Lucas, they're all experimenting with a lot of Jedi and Sith lore and exactly how it will be utilized in a Skywalker saga movie and how it's going to be used as a foundation for a new Star Wars lore beyond the Skywalker saga itself as we go over into the new Star Wars trilogy by the creators of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Now these past couple of weeks or so we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense between Darth Plagueis, Luke Skywalker, and even Rey. Now specifically what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Rey on board of the Millennium Falcon, where it's described that both Poe and Finn as well as Chewbacca are inside of the cockpit and are on a hyperspace route to the exotic jungle world. It's said that one of the scenes involves Rey going through all the belongings and personal items of Luke Skywalker that she took from Ahch-To that is said to carry many secrets. One of the sequences is said to involve an object that Luke kept to himself that once belonged to Darth Plagueis many years ago, that Luke discovered in Palpatine's vault. The device is said to be a holocron of Plagueis that glows in a red hue with a triangular design, with ancient code written on the outside. It's said that Luke learned many secrets of the dark side during his time on Ahch-To, and studying exactly why his father turned and exactly what makes the dark side so irresistible to the individuals who fall into desperation. It's said that the Sith holocron of Plagueis creates a low hum sound when Rey lifts it out of the metal box that Rey opens, where whispers are said to be heard through Rey's mind in the moment. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm, they have a big plan for the Star Wars franchise. They are trying their absolute hardest here in order to make holocrons pretty much as iconic as lightsabers to the casual viewer, to the casual fan of the Star Wars franchise, and of course to new fans around the world. Now of course it's easy to say that lightsabers are more, I guess you could say, known rather than holocrons to the casual fan of the Star Wars franchise. Now Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to change everything, and we see a great example of this in Galaxy's Edge. If you guys actually go over in Galaxy's Edge, there's a lot of holocrons from what's actually being said over there, a lot of holocrons that you can actually buy. They're really trying their very hardest to really make this embedded within the minds of new and casual fans alike. So with that being said, the holocron of Plagueis is actually said to have once been owned by Luke Skywalker during his time on Ahch-To, where Luke was studying through the ways of the dark side to figure out exactly what really makes one turn to the dark, and exactly why his father turned to the dark side, and why individuals who fall into desperation fall to the dark side so easily. So this is also, lending, of course, to the Dark Empire comic line. This is, of course, J.J. Abrams drawing ideas from that, where in Dark Empire, it's one of the main reasons as to why Luke even turns to the dark side is because he's trying to figure out the philosophy of one who turns to the darkness, exactly what really, turns them over to the dark in their mind. And that's where Luke begins to get lost, and that's why he becomes Palpatine's apprentice temporarily in, of course, the Dark Empire comics from the 1990s. So this whole entire sequence where Luke Skywalker kept this Darth Plagueis relic a secret from anybody else, Rey discovers this thing, she takes it from Ahch-To, and 1 year later, roughly 1 year after the events of Episode 8, she finally opens the metallic box and realizes that it's a Sith holocron that once belonged to Palpatine's master. Now, what I like about this is that Luke Skywalker, he was actually said to have retrieved this from Palpatine's vault many years before the events of The Force Awakens, which we got a little glimpse of this in the Battlefront 2 campaign video game, where we do see him invading the Palpatine vault on the planet of Pilio. Very interesting because he sided with Del Meeko at the time, so you can really see how Luke Skywalker goes on all these different missions with R2-D2. In case you guys did not know, R2 and Luke have over 1,000 missions logged into R2-D2's database. that really does open up a lot of possibilities now, doesn't it, for a future live-action TV series of a young Luke in between the events of the originals and the sequels. But anyways, moving on, I gotta say, Darth Plagueis, the fact that they are tapping into this character in some way, shape, or form in Episode 9 is great news. We do know that J.J. Abrams loves the character of Plagueis. He wanted to always explore a little bit more about him in Star Wars overall. And not just that, J.J. also really loves the Knights of Ren. He hopes to see a live-action TV show or an actual live-action movie of these guys at some point in time in the future. So with that being said, guys, I would really love to hear what each and every one of you have to say about Plagueis and Luke and the whole connection and the Sith holocron and how Rey discovers this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.